Good. All right, we're going to get started then. Today it's a convening of Massachusetts Gaming Commission meeting, Thursday, December 29th, and 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're going to get started with this public meeting number 417 after I take a roll call. Commissioner O'Brien.
I am here.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Hill.
Good afternoon, I'm here.
Commissioner Skinner.
Good afternoon, I'm here.
Commissioner Maynard.
Good afternoon, I am here.
Okay, we're all set. As I said, we're calling this public meeting 417 on December 29th to order, and we'll turn right over to Karen. You're going to update us on all the sports wagering.
Yes, Madam Chair. So the first item on the agenda is just an approval of the form for the request for the temporary licensure. As you're aware, you've been going through the process to either grant the licenses fully with respect. You've done that with 2 of the category 1s, but we've got the Plainridge Park Casino license and then the other untethered operators, and then we have the untethered operators coming up. So pursuant to the statute and regulations, they must request a temporary license. So this would just be the official form that they would fill out. Many thanks to General Counsel Grossman for developing this according to the law, and just wanted to put that in front of you and get your approval on the form. Then we can go forward with that process. Are there any questions? Okay. So I don't know if that even requires a vote actually, but there is one.
We reserve the right for vote. Probably yep. we can vote on the form of that request, because that's by statute, right, Karen? And Karen, will you do sort of a similar, you come back to us with the recommendation. Will you just memorialize that in some kind of writing? Yes,
so that is also part of the statute, which is that the executive director basically makes a determination of it, that the applicant is a qualified gaming entity under the statute. So I will have something. It's up to you whether you want to approve the form, or I will just submit something in writing to you that I've done something in compliance with the statute, so that when you give the license, you know that all the correct things have been presented to you.
I think it's just as long as it's memorialized in writing, that's enough for me. Do you want a form from Karen, or it probably will become a form of sorts?
Right. I would submit something in writing to you when you actually give it. I'm thinking that I will have some kind of official process that we would follow for each one of the applicants, and that has been confirmation that they're a qualified gaming entity.
Okay. Any questions on that part?
I do have a question, Madam Chair. So the submission of this form, this request form, Karen, you as executive director recommend approval or denial, and then it comes back to the commission for further discussion, or really just ratification of your recommendation?
Well, so this part of the request for the temporary license, you have made these preliminary determinations that they're eligible, so they can apply for this temporary license. So that's been done. Now they can submit this and the $1 million fee. Then, as part of the statute, in order to get the temporary license, the assertion by the executive director is that they are a qualified gaming entity. So, for example, I am confirming for you as commissioners that it's not Target that's applying for a gaming license, it's actually a gaming company. And that's all that piece is. So you have something from the executive director saying that before they get the temporary license. So everything comes back in front of the commission as a package. So their eligibility, which you've already made a determination on, $1 million, and then the executive director determination of qualified gaming entity. And then, and I think at the same time, probably do it all the same day. Could also do the certificate of operations at the same time, one whole package, and then they would be able to operate. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions on the form?
Just a great job by the staff.
Thanks to Doug.
Okay. I'm not sure if we have any draft motions to work from, but I guess I would suggest that maybe someone move to approve the form for request for temporary licensure as submitted by Executive Director Wells today and made part of the packet. Someone wants to make such a motion?
I move that the commission adopt the Massachusetts Gaming Commission request for a temporary license to conduct sports wagering form as included in the packet and discussed here today.
Second.
Any second. Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any questions or edits? Okay. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye.
Commissioner Hill,
Aye.
Commissioner Skinner,
Aye.
Commissioner Maynard,
Aye.
and I vote yes, 5-0. Great job. That gets that process going.
Okay, check that one off. The next item 2B, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Financial Officer, Derek Lennon, for the voluntary self-exclusion database funding.
Hi, Derek.
But we
Yeah.
have got John Scully as well.
Hi,
So
John.
you have John, you have Mark, and you have me.
Oh, there's Mark too.
so-
Hi, Mark.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Thank you for having us. This is more of a just a notification so that you are aware of what we are doing with funding. We have not done an assessment yet for the Sports Wagering Control Fund. While we have some investigative fees in-house and we have the ability to put an administrative fee on that, we think that this item falls squarely under the assessment discussion, which we will come back to you for during the mid-year review, because we'll have hopefully all of the applicants and all of the licensees with the determination, and we can break up the costs of our operations across an assessment. But for the meantime, we need to, I think it's under section 13, paragraph E2, have a list of excluded persons. So chapter 23N, section 13, paragraph E2 requires us to have a list of excluded persons. We have a current database that we use under the gaming side. We would need to do some enhanced developments to implement that for sports wagering. What we are proposing is to fund it under the Public Health Trust Fund, the same way that the sports wage and the gaming side is funded for now. And then once we do the assessment, shift the costs over to the assessment.
Could you say that last part again, please, Derek? What will
Yeah,
happen?
so we'll front the costs against the Public Health Trust Fund. It's still ineligible. If we wanted to fund it under the Public Health Trust Fund, this falls squarely within that realm anyways. However, seeing that, we already have a full budget for the Public Health Trust Fund this year, what we're proposing is to fund it initially from here. And then once we get an assessment, this would be included in the assessment and we would shift the cost back over to the assessment retroactively.
And that doesn't create any issues for the trust or anything working with Department of Public Health. Okay, great.
And that's why we have Mark here, because he's already looked at whether he can absorb that in the short run versus waiting. And we went through the whole discussion of what if we wait? It's required that that list is up beforehand. Then there's the whole idea of, is there another mechanism we could use? Yes, we can do manual, but we've seen from other areas that's probably not the best way to go. And we have a very nice database developed for the gaming side. It would be nice to just roll this in the same way and take the smaller implementation costs to get a developer on and just flip the switch for sports wagering. Mark, if you'd like to add anything that I missed, I'm trying not to miss any summarizations, but I usually do.
Derek, you usually do a very, very good job. Good afternoon, Madam Chair and Commissioners. I think Derek did a very good job of summing it up. The one thing I would like to say is even if we begin the enhancements now to include sports wagering in the existing VSC database system, so the system that's already been developed, there will be a small gap between the timeline would show us launching or fully integrating in say mid to late February. We do have a patch so that we can begin accepting persons onto the sports wagering voluntary self-exclusion list as soon as the week of January 16th. But just so that you know, there will be a small period of time in which we will need to utilize this patch before the development would happen and we could begin including persons in an integrated voluntary self-exclusion list. Functionally, no different for the individual who would like to sign up for the list, but it does highlight the need that we would like to get this enhancement started as soon as possible.
Questions? Commissioners?
So we're not looking for a vote. All we're looking for, make sure that no one says absolutely no to this.
So we're looking for any objections.
Correct.
Any questions or objections? Commissioner Skinner?
No objection.
All right.
I
Thanks.
was, however, prepared to make a motion, but apparently it's not needed.
Okay. I guess we're all set then. If there are no questions or objections, thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, John.
Nice to see you guys as well.
Okay, then we're going to move on to item number 3. And this is on the agenda for discussion of the process for the review of the Category 3 untethered applicants. You have a memo in your packet. Executive Director Wells and Chief Administrative Officer to the Chair, Crystal Boschman, have been working with our legal department and outside counsel to ensure that our process continues to be comprehensive, transparent, fair, and in compliance with the law and our regulations. As I mentioned, memo in the packet, it does include recommendations on how to proceed, given that for the Category 3 untethered group, there are some unique components. So the purpose of this meeting today is to ensure that all commissioners are fully informed as to the recommended approach for this evaluation process and that all questions are answered. So the first part, to create efficiencies, it's been recommended that all applicants attend the first meeting. And so I think would be on January 5th, Crystal. January 6th. January 6th? The 6th.
Correct.
The first meeting during the evaluation process to hear at the same time, all at the same time, how the proceedings will move forward and learn from General Counsel Grossman the relevant statutory and regulatory framework. So you've had a chance to read the memo. Does anybody have any objection with consolidating all of the front side of our information in one meeting? Okay, that makes sense,
No.
right? Okay, good. Thank you. That takes a little bit of a load off from all of us. Okay. Then next, it's been recommended that each applicant conduct its presentations and then allow for the commissioners' inquiries on distinct days. And then that we reserve 2 days at the end of the process for a holistic review and determination of which the applicants may move forward and apply for a temporary license in accordance with Regulation 205 CMR 218.06, which is described in the memo. So again, we would go through 1 day at a time. Each applicant reserve at the end of the review 2 days for what is really a holistic review that is somewhat comparative in nature of the 6. Any questions or objections to that approach?
The only comment I would make is in terms of the recitation in the memo on page 7, when it talks about what IB is going to be giving to us. I think it just said the suitability should just say preliminary suitability, so it's clear what they're giving
Okay.
to us.
That's good. Yep. Yep, noted.
Okay, any other issue with the approach? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next issue, which is the schedule itself. The executive team is, and we're working with all stakeholders to meet our anticipated mobile online launch in March. This means we'll have to do our best to adhere to the schedule set forth in the memo, particularly as set forth on page 8, I think, of our memo. That's the back page in our packet, page 8 of the packet, page 4 of the memo. Are there any questions regarding the proposed schedules or any objections?
Okay.
All right, I'm hearing none. Okay, so thank you, Crystal and Karen, for taking a lot of time over the last several days to get this down to a memo for us. And it really has helped me think about this process. And I want to thank Dave Mackey and Lon Povich for, I think that they've helped you, two of you, along the way. I think I want to also note, Karen, I think you wanted me to make sure to say on the record too, that in my little notes, that it's important for us to reiterate that the launch by any operator is still strictly contingent on regulatory approval of operational readiness, and the operators must pass verification and testing processes, a rigorous testing process, before any bets on their platform can be placed. So that's noted in the memo as well. A good reminder for all of us. They have to submit that payment, all good for the Commonwealth. And I think if there are no questions or other issues.
Madam Chair, the only thing, I was just on the phone with Attorney Mackey, just to confirm on the indexing tool that we have the outside consultants preparing for this untethered process. You could get that, I think, as early. I don't know.
I actually forgot to say that part, didn't I?
Yeah, that's okay. So I think that the sort of the question was, when do you want that? You could get it. I think, Crystal, they could finish that up, and I think they have inputted all the data. This, just for the record, this is not an evaluation of the applications by an outside party. This is just a tool to help the commissioners navigate 6 of these simultaneously. So I think the question is, they could just wait and do something that you could use on the 19th, or you could get this earlier as you are reviewing the applications. Is that right,
Yes,
Crystal?
the recommendation was that it wait to be part of that date, because there were several other tools that would come into play too, one from RSM. But it could be done earlier. I think it's probably almost done. I think that we just want to make sure everyone sees it or is utilizing it in the same way at the same time.
So I'm a little confused, but I just want to note that what we're talking about is an indexing tool that Ernst & Young, who's been engaged by the MGC, has developed to help with what I understood reviewing all 6 applications simultaneously.
Right.
And that's simply an organizational enhancement to the process and will complement each commissioner's independent review of the application. Sorry that I didn't note that. So it's my understanding that it's to help, but are you saying, Crystal, that it wouldn't come until the 19th?
No, it would certainly come in advance of the 19th, but it's more of a procedural, like a process tool for helping navigate the 19th and 20th. But you certainly could get it in advance if you thought it would be helpful.
Yeah, I guess I always thought we were going to be getting it in advance.
Okay, we can do that.
In advance of the 6th?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was what my expectation was. I don't know about everybody else, but.
Is there going to be, Madam Chair, is there going to be any benefit?
Would you say it a little bit louder, please, Commissioner?
Is there going to be any benefit to, will there be more wholesome or fulsome information that they gather if they do it later versus earlier?
I
No,
don't know anything about it. I don't know
No,
anything about it.
no, this
I
is,
don't-
they are not producing anything in addition to what's in the application. This is merely an indexing tool to help work through applications. Up until this point, you've been doing one at a time, and the expectations you'll be doing 6 of these simultaneously. So this cross-references and will help with that navigation process as you're looking at all of them. So it's not as if they're getting outside information or supplemented. And to your question, they won't be producing any additional information if we wait till the 19th. It would be the same document.
Can I ask this, is it a tool that allows for us to make entries, or is it strictly indexing from?
It's an
strictly-
indexing tool from what I've seen, yes.
So it's not like a tool where we would be putting in our own notes.
Right now, it's in Excel. I've asked for it kind of to be produced in PDF as well. So technically, you could make your own columns and put in more notes, but it's set, so that they're pulling out the information and putting the links to index the references to those columns. Per application.
Any more questions on the EY tool?
No questions, just a comment. I'm excited about getting access to this tool. I think that I'm okay with having it towards the end, but I don't see anything wrong with making it available on SharePoint so those who are ready for it can access it. I think it's going to be extremely helpful as we move into discussions during the evaluation meetings that are scheduled for later in the month. It's really, as I understand it, a document that is sort of a 700-foot view of everything that we will be reviewing in the applications. So much appreciation to EY for putting that together.
Okay.
And so that's what it's going to be, 700-foot view of the materials. Is that what you just said, Commissioner Skinner?
That's my understanding of it. It's sort of an at a glance. I understand it as, an index, as it has already been described, so that, when we're in the middle of discussions, I have paper copies of the applications. And so I probably, have over 10,000 pages scattered around my home in the office. So I can, put stick notes on every single page that I want to, go back to and question an applicant on. But, in the middle of a meeting, right, for, 8 hours or more, it's not always a useful process for me. So it would be good to get this document to refer back to so that I can more easily reference particular pieces of the application, or more easily find and reference more easily the pieces of the application that I want to dig into within the applicant.
I think it would be helpful for us to have access to, so that, particularly for as we get ready on the 19th, so that we're not navigating it for the first time.
That's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that was always the intent.
And we'll have someone that can walk, whether it's Crystal, someone from EY can work with the commissioner on how to navigate all the links, because they do have within the spreadsheet, you can, click the link and it'll take you to the section of the application. So if you're looking
In
to
SharePoint.
navigate, yeah, so they'll be able to help folks with that. Or
I do think we'll need it in a PDF for our meeting. And
Okay.
so I assume the links will all be live in the PDF.
I prefer Excel, so I hope it's going to be available somewhere in an Excel document.
I
because
had requested it be available both ways.
This is going to be okay. An Excel sheet during the middle of the meeting will be trickier for me, but whatever. If we can,
The information will be the same. It'll just be however people prefer to use it. So we will have it both ways. I'd already requested.
because it will go in the packet too.
Yes. And that obviously for the packet, the PDF makes more sense, but it'll be the same information in the same way.
Okay, great. Thanks. Any other questions?
Nope, just a thank you to Crystal and Karen for putting all of this together.
All right. Anything else? Okay. Any other business? 3:30, guys.
Right.
Nice
The
to see you.
record.
Have a happy new year.
Everybody.
We won't be convening until after the new year in 2023. I wish you all the very best, you and your families. Do I have a
Thank you.
motion?
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Okay. Commissioner O'Brien,
Aye. Happy New Year, everybody.
Commissioner Hill,
Very happy new year to everybody. Aye.
Commissioner Skinner,
aye.
and Commissioner Maynard.
Aye.